Do you select questions you answer, Jane? I said, no, I don't. In another comment section, Jane, answer my question. Then I got to see the comments and I asked him, what is your question? And then in his inbox, he asked this question and it happened to be a very important one. I told him that I think it's better to make a video on it so that every other person can get to see it. Please know that I don't select questions I answer. I answer questions that I am able to answer because on a daily basis, I get hundreds of questions and it is not even possible to answer everybody, but I do my best to answer your questions. So let's see the question together. What are the questions we should expect from immigration officers at the UK airports as an international student at the point of entry before entering the UK? Now, at the UK airport, the point of entry, immigration officers from the UK border force may ask you some questions. Why do they ask you this kind of questions? It's just to confirm that you are a genuine student and that your documents match with your intention, match with what you're coming to the UK to do as a student. It may not be all of these questions I'm going to say, but I'm just going to tell you questions to expect. You are likely to be asked these questions. They may ask you all of them. They may even ask you less questions, but expect these questions from the immigration officers at the point of entry at the UK airport. And before I go ahead to list these questions, take note of this. They are not to scare you. They are not asking you these questions to scare you. They just want clarity, they want honesty, and they want consistency in the questions you provide, in the answers you provide, rather. You should not be scared of the questions or of the officers. All right? You just tell them the truth. I've put them in categories so that you get the point clear. Now, for your studies, concerning your studies, you'll likely be asked which school you're going to, the course you're going to study there. Why did you choose the course? They may also ask you why you chose the UK for studies. Lastly, for your studies, you may be asked when your course starts. When is your course going to begin in that university? It is very important that you provide answers that match with what you have in your CAS letter. Don't ensure that they tally. Don't tell them what is different from what they see in your CAS. Okay, it is always important to provide accurate answers. About your university and the location, you may be asked, do you know where your school is located? Do you know the city you'll be living in, like where you will be living? Finally, for this part, you may be asked how long your course takes. How long does it take to study that course in that school you're going to? Why are they asking these questions? They want to know if you really know where you're going to. If you're really sure of where you're heading. All right. It's not to scare you. For your finances, you may be asked, how are you funding your studies? Who is sponsoring you? Do you have access to your funds? At this point, normally you don't need to show them your proof of funds again, but it's important to have it just in case if they ask you for it. Then for your accommodation, you may be asked where you will stay when you arrive, if you have your accommodations arranged already. Maybe I give you examples of answers you may give to them depending on your own experience, like depending on where you are going. It could be university accommodation, temporarily Airbnb, or staying with a friend if applicable. Like just the kind of answers you could give depending on where you're going. You don't need to lie to them. For travel and arrival plans, you could be asked, is this your first time in the UK? How long do you intend to stay? Do you intend to stay back after studies, or do you intend to return to your country after studies? You may be asked as well. And for family dependent stuff, you could be asked if you are traveling with family, or if you intend to bring your family in later. At this point, let me say this again. It is important to be calm, honest, and confident. Don't be fidgeting. Don't be shaking. A human being is asking you questions to get clarity on your intentions, on your journey plans, and everything that he or she needs to know. So just answer them calmly, confidently, and in honesty. You don't need to be fidgeting. If you start fidgeting, then expect more and more questions, because that will tell them that you are unsure of what you're coming to the UK to do. And so they will now dig deep in asking you even more questions. So the more confident and honest you are, the better and simpler your questions will be. Do you get it? Maybe I also tell you questions that you are not likely to be asked. Like these questions, I can almost say it's not possible for you to hear this kind of questions. For instance, deep academic questions about your course, like to tell them the deep things about the course you're coming to study. No, I doubt. And again, complex financial breakdown for them. Like you should break down in complex form finances for them, they are not likely to ask you that kind of question unless there is something suspicious. Okay, if there's nothing like that, you may never be asked to give them, that complex breakdown of your finances. All right. I hope this is helpful. I know you benefited something from this, so please go ahead to give me a follow, like the video, save it for yourself, okay, because you may need it in the future when you will be coming to the UK. And do me a favor of also sharing it. The more you share it, the more people get to see the video. Thank you so much, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.